The show begins with a man named Holston, pinning his sheriff badge to his shirt and preparing his room. What Holston is about to do will change everything. He emerges into the giant base for which numerous people are living. They're inside a great silo, but all the residents are in the dark over what their purpose is and what they're doing here. They don't know when it'll be safe to venture outside either, but one thing's for sure, it's not right now. Sheriff Holston heads into Holding 3 and looks outside the window. He locks the door and throws the keys outside, telling his deputy, Morris, that he wants to go outside to meet his beloved. For now, he's locked himself up and decides to stay on his bed. We then cut back in time to see Holston with his partner, Allison. They're trying for a baby and things are looking good. It's their third and final time of trying, given Allison is 38. Husband and wife then visit the doctor, who appears to excise the birth control capsule implanted in Allison's abdomen. At dinner, the couple receive an unwanted visit from a kooky fertility counselor named Gloria. Gloria urges Allison to come to see her. Holston is not happy with this, pointing out that she's a fraud as Gloria has a reputation for making her subjects do whatever she wants, promising them the world for nothing. This soon subsides as the days pass and the pair continue to try and get pregnant. Allison actually works as a reporter, but whilst there, she's reprimanded by her boss, Bernard. Allison has been breaking the rules and she's called out for it. She's been asking questions about the rebels and the before times. They have the pact in place which forbids questions like this, and Sheriff Holston is not happy with the way this conversation is going. After all, it's his job to make sure the doors stay firmly shut so whatever is outside doesn't get in. They've been here a while, so long in fact that the outside is starting to get dirty and obscuring the wasteland view. After some 200 days pass without any luck on the baby front, Allison stumbles into a conversation with the fertility counselor Gloria, who speaks to her in private. She runs the tap to make sure the judicial team can hear her, as she goes on to point out what's happening outside. She knows that Allison is someone that wonders. Gloria questions whether the authorities actually want her to get pregnant, hinting at some sort of conspiracy theory. Allison and Holston continue to try and get pregnant, even having sex at the work desk. While this simmers away in the background, Allison meets George Wilkins, who happens to be a repair guy. He's printed out her post online and is operating in the shadows to avoid the gaze of the judicial. He's been trying to retrieve an old drive that's over 140 years old. Given they've been told that all of them were destroyed, this throws their entire history, and what they've been told, into disarray. While the pair work, everyone else celebrates their Freedom Day, with big banners up and all the members of the silo gathered to greet the judicial and cheer. The mayor gives a rousing speech about remembering the terror of the rebellion and how they destroyed everything, including all the books and the computer drives. As she speaks, we cut back to Allison and George, who both find plans for the silo blueprints on this drive. Allison loses her nerve, believing this is a relic and it's forbidden to have it, and tells George that he needs to destroy it. Allison heads back to see Gloria, becoming ever more disillusioned with what's happening inside the silo. In fact, she decides to finally see everything, moving between Gloria and George to understand what may be hidden from them. The final file with the latter happens to be a video that could change everything. A cleaner called Jane is outside the silo and her video footage shows birds flying outside. As a result of this, Allison drifts further away from Holston. She tells him that night that she's not okay, but she will be. Unfortunately, their year of potential baby making comes and goes, but Allison doesn't show up at the clinic for their meeting about the baby. Allison is actually back home, and with the tap running, she confronts Holston about what she's found out. She was going to talk to him the night before but needed proof to confirm the enforcers were never going to let them have kids. Her birth control was never taken out, evidenced by a bloody knife and the actual implant on the table. Holston realizes his wife has cut herself open and he races off to get help for her. However, Allison isn't in their cabin anymore, she's in the cafeteria. She makes a big scene and tries to convince everyone that they need to listen. When Holston and others try to calm her down, Allison apologizes to her husband but insists there was no other way. She then bellows those 5 damning words. "I want to go out." And she's taken away in handcuffs. Unfortunately, both George Wilkins and Gloria are both questioned too as a result of Allison's ties with them. Holston believes that the stress of not having a baby has deterred her, and that's why she's acting this way. Well, Allison is completely lucid and understands what's happening. When Holston visits his wife in her Holding 3 cell, she tells him, without specifics that might incriminate him, that what they told us isn't true. And that the big thing, she discovered is that the view of the outside is being altered to obscure the idyllic reality. Allison points out that those who get sent to clean always swear that they won't fulfill that duty, and yet they are always seen wiping off the camera lens. That, she suggests, is because they hope that doing so will expose the lie. Allison tells her husband that if she gets outside and finds it as grim and deadly, she absolutely will not clean the lens. She believes that the images inside the silo have been distorted and changed to stop them from going out. But why? Well, Allison is determined to find out. Allison is strapped up and ready to go outside. She's to clean the exterior of the silo, and she's convinced that she's not going to die. This is hard for Holston to take though, who's convinced that she will. He does his job and reads out the oath, confirming that inside is safe and the outside is not. After, Allison tells him she loves him and prepares to take the walk outside. This happens to be directly opposite the cell too, and Holston eventually presses the button and lets the large door shut, keeping Allison out the silo. However, we don't see exactly what's there, because there's a long climb to the surface. On the alleged window inside the cafeteria, Allison steps up and looks around. She makes it to the window and begins cleaning. With the view clearer than before, Allison walks away from the silo. Only, in doing so she collapses, crawling toward the remnants of a gnarled tree. She's dead, or is she? That's something I'm sure we're going to find out in the episodes ahead. We then jump forward 2 years later. Holston's whole world has fallen apart. George Wilkins has been transferred to mechanical a year back, but he's shown up as dead, which is a bit suspicious. There's an engineer down there who's convinced that it's murder. The woman down there, Juliet Nichols, is someone whom Holston has been in contact with for a while, which we learn as narration cuts us back to the present timeline, where Holston is determined to find out the truth. The end. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this TV show. Subscribe and also turn on the notification bell to get regular updates. See you next time.